Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Nebraska football team started spring practices this week. One headline going into the season is the quarterback position. Head coach Matt Rhule spoke to the media today discussing his quarterbacks.
Dylan and Daniel have done a great job of preparing within this offense. I think they know what to do. They know where to go with the football. They're on time. They're savvy. They're smart. So I've been really, really pleased. I mean, you can see what a bright future they both have. And, Heinrich has done a great job of mastering, you go through last year, right? You're building for one guy, you kind of move into another. Now, year two, we know who we are. We know what we have. We know the guys. Bring Glenn back into the fold along with us. So I think we've been really able to kind of, at least in the passing game, identify, hey, here's what we want to do. And you can see Heinrich being very comfortable with those things.
The NCAA Men's March Madness continues tonight with 6-seed Clemson taking on 2-seed Arizona, 5-seed San Diego State facing top-ranked UConn, 4th-seed Alabama versus number 1 seed North Carolina, and the 3-seed Illinois against 2-seeded Iowa State. It's opening day in the MLB today. All 30 teams were scheduled to play today, including the Dodgers defeating the Cardinals 7-1, Twins beating the Royals 4-1, Orioles beating the Angels 11-3, and the Astros losing to the Yankees 5-4. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 1 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Lifted to right, and drifting over near the line is Williams, and looking up, and it is gone! Wind blows it right out of here. It's a grand slam for Will Walsh. It's 5-0 Big Red.
With Rhule as Andrews swings and lifts it right field and deep. Riono going back to the wall. It's gone! Home run, Billie Andrews! And that's the new record. She is the all-time home run queen at the University of Nebraska.
Now the 2-2 from Sears. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 7 will end the 8th inning for Brett Sears, and he has gone 8 innings here on a Saturday afternoon.
The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome into the show, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe is traveling with baseball. He's in Chicago, going to find some deep dish pizza. But he's going to make some time to check in with us here in just a few minutes. We're going to preview that matchup with Northwestern as Nebraska baseball opens up. Big Ten play coming up this weekend. We got a big show. Not just Greg going to be here, but we're also going to hear from Damon Benning here coming up in hour number 2. And the Huskers' new home run queen, Billie Andrews. I also got a chance to chat with her. So some fun guests lined up for you here tonight. But Duke had this in the ticker. Nebraska football. We had an open spring practice today. It was open to the media for the first portion of practice, and so lots of hype around the quarterbacks, right? So Coach Rhule had a lot of questions about the quarterbacks. They had the pads on for the first time. I chatted with Malcolm Hartzog after, and he said it's always different when those pads come on. But Coach Rhule did meet with the media following practice, so let's get into our very first practice report of the spring.
The 1890 Initiative presents the Nebraska Football Practice Report.
We're talking about practice.
Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com.
Well, it's been a big storyline since January when we first heard the news that Nash Hutmacher would be joining the wrestling team. He dropped a lot of weight. I know he went through all of the off-season workouts of football while balancing wrestling. I was told all along that it was crazy how well he handled both. It was like, he was a pro, being able to really manage and excel at both. But he was back out on the football field today looking lean and trim. And so Coach Rhule was asked about having Nash back out on the football field.
So on Monday, I told Tony White, I said, hey, I don't want Nash doing anything. And Tony didn't have a chance to get the message, maybe to Terrence, I don't know, whatever happened. And, you know, he's wrestling on Thursday, and he's doing Indian one-on-ones on Monday. And I walked over and, like, pulled him out, like, hey, just stand over here. But he's doing Indy. You know, we want him to have some time to rest his body. What he did was grueling. But he also wants to be out there with his teammates. So I can't say enough about Nash. Can't say enough about the professionalism of the wrestling program here, Coach Manning and his entire staff. And I think it's been a really good thing for Nash body-wise. I think he feels good at that weight, and we're going to experiment with him at that weight. I don't know what it was today. I mean, we'd like him to be around 310 is kind of the hope. You know, he was at, you know, he'd get in at 285, probably wrestle about 295. So I don't know today if he's at 305 or whatever, but we'd like him about 310.
Crazy, he was just wrestling at Nationals last weekend, and here he is back out on the football field. It'll be an intriguing thing to follow about where his weight is, but we talked to Jeremiah Searles about this, and he said it's not hard to put on the weight, so they'll probably experiment with it here this spring and kind of get a gauge on where they want him to play at. But, you know, he said, hey, those scouts, especially at the next level, have talked a lot about, especially those linemen having that wrestling background, how big that is. So great for Nash, and it was fun. It was fun to follow that all throughout these last few months and seeing what he did with Husker wrestling. All right, up next, Coach Rhule was asked about the running back Emmett Johnson. You know, Emmett came in last year after the injuries in the running back room, and it really had to carry a pretty big load towards the end of the season. He started 6 of the last 7 games, had 90 carries, 411 yards, a couple touchdowns, 4.6 yards per carry. So he was asked about Emmett Johnson and what his spring looks like.
Emmett's a guy that when he was called on, made plays. He's one of our most athletic people. We keep track of everything. I mean, force plate jumps, heights, 10-yard dash, standing 10-yard dash. I mean, we keep track of everything. And in all his metrics, he's, you know, in the upper percentages. So he's just an elite athlete. And I think for him, it's just about continuing to get reps, continuing to get comfortable. But he proved last year that he's a man who, when given the opportunity, can make yards and can make big plays. You think about the run he made to end that with Northwestern or Purdue, I forget. I'm sorry, Purdue, I think. The run he made to set up the win against Maryland, which unfortunately didn't end up being a win. So he's made those big runs. He's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger. Big spring for him.
And you'll remember Emmett was selected. He was one of the guys that competed in the dunk contest. So, you know, speaks to his athleticism. He's a great basketball player. So he'll also be you got to imagine another key member of kickoff return as he was last year as well. All right, again, the quarterback's a big topic here throughout this press conference. So Coach Rhule was asked about how he's going to spread out the snaps between the quarterbacks here this spring.
No, yeah, if we went out the first day, the guy who took the first rep was Heinrich. Pretty much at every position, it's either the most seniorist guy or the guy who had the best off season. You know, with 2 freshmen. I mean, I don't know if I would ever put a freshman ahead of a guy who started for us at any position. So, but as we go, the unique thing about us, I mean, if you guys didn't see the end of practice, we literally had 3 different fields of team drills going on at once. Everybody gets reps, and we try to make them equal reps so that we can evaluate you throwing this play, this guy throwing that play. And as opposed to maybe sometimes in years past where I'm usually very like, just develop, worry about yourself. And I do believe in this. With our receivers, young receivers, with all those positions, I'm kind of like, hey, whoever has the best day, like, give them more reps tomorrow. Like, everybody wants constant feedback. So instead of me trying to scream for the old days, I'm like, all right, you want constant feedback? If you have 5 MAs, you're not going to get as many reps if you know what you're doing. And so trying to encourage guys, you know, sometimes our guys, you know, even my own kids, they might average 6-7 hours a day of screen time. I'm not getting 6-7 hours a day of studying tape. If I did, we'd be pretty good. So trying to encourage guys to really study tape on their own, know what they're doing. Because the players who know what they're doing play well. And that's why our 2 young quarterbacks are playing so well, because they've really worked at it.
All right, so let's stick with the quarterback theme here. Of course, a lot of hype surrounding Dylan Rhule, top quarterback quarterback in the last recruiting class, and then Daniel Kalen, who is a big-time player here in Nebraska as well, and guys that certainly played a lot of football and put up pretty jaw-dropping stats throughout their high school careers. And so Coach Rhule was asked how prepared they were coming into this for this college football thing.
I think both guys come from, great programs. Obviously Dylan played a couple places, but you're not going to find a finer high school program than Buford. And then you look at the offense at Bellevue West. Coach Huffman does a fantastic job. I mean, the RPOs, the sites, everything's built in. So, now these guys play 7-on-7. I think the biggest thing you're looking for in high school quarterbacks is you don't want guys who are just 7-on-7 guys. You want guys who can make a play with the ball in their hand. You want guys who can take a hit. You want guys who can play the game of football. And both these guys have it. So, the quarterback position, you look at it in the NFL, how challenging it is to predict who's going to be able to do all those things. That's why I think it's so important for us when we get here to put them in real football situations. But both guys, tremendous competitors, tremendous brains, will to win, will to succeed, come from great families, and obviously came from really good high school programs. I think that's a key. When you come from somewhere where the expectations are high, and you come to a place where the expectations are high, it doesn't feel that much different because you've always been around a place with high expectations.
Yeah, there's a lot of big names that returned that are familiar names that have played a lot of football that we've talked about, leading up to this spring football. But you're also adding in a large group of newcomers, including those two quarterbacks. So Coach Rhule was asked about how big this newcomers group, how big is it, how big it is, and if it's one of the biggest newcoming classes that he's had.
Yeah, I think so. Other than, taking new jobs, and walking in. I walked into Temple. I kind of knew the guys, but not really because I'd been there the year before. I walked into Baylor. I didn't know anybody. They didn't know me. There's a lot of newcomers here, kind of a transition. And there's a lot of guys who were freshmen last year, but this was their first off season. So, Malachi and Jalen and those guys played, but they haven't done a spring ball yet. They haven't done so. There's a lot of explaining what's expected. We're really blessed that we have Giff and Tommy and Keese, in that DB room. That we have, Johnny Bullock and Buddha in the linebacker room, MJ, Chief, Ty Robinson, Nash. We have Jamari. We have a lot of older guys on defense. Bringing back, Ben Hart and Ben Scott. That group, is really solid with those guys. Heinrichs obviously played a lot. Fedoni, Borkacher, Lindenmeyer, Vets running back. Even your young guys. Emmett Johnson started here. And the receiver room's kind of the lone wolf, right? Some guys have played. And Alex Bullock's done a really nice job. And we have some guys, Roman Mangini. We give out black shirts for off-season stuff, different kind of black shirt, not the black shirt, but just black jerseys to denote different colors. And Roman Mangini gets one every time. We were trying to find a role for him on this team because he's so tough and so quick. And he's a great teammate in the receiver room. Elliott Brown's a great teammate in the receiver room, even though he's injured. So we have a lot of guys who add to the culture, which makes culture. Everyone asks me about culture. I'm not the culture. Those guys are the culture. And so that they've brought the newcomers along really quickly. Some, as I said, some of the portal guys, it's just different. It's so different. It's like, wait a minute, coach, I was just at a school that won a ton of games and we did this. But they're coming along great.
Yeah, I've talked to a few of those guys that he just mentioned, and they put it on themselves to make sure that these newcomers do know what it's like and are making sure that they're bringing them along and helping them understand the culture, because it was really important what they did last year, and they want to build off of that and the things that they did they believe in, right? So those newcomers, they can bring them along quickly and get them up to speed. Malcolm Hartzog was one of those guys that he said, I want to help bring in some of those younger defensive backs. Marquise Buford said the same thing. So, they certainly believe in it. So now they want to make sure that those newcomers are aware of what's in place and how they can fit into that culture. All right, we got to work in a break here on Sports Nightly. Still plenty to come. Coming up next, we're going to hear from Greg Sharpe. He'll be joining us from Chicago as Nebraska baseball gets set to open up Big Ten Conference play at Northwestern.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new, it's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
That's the best way I could describe how it felt for me when I would walk out of either the casino or the Keno parlor, is that you just felt that wave of heat, that wave of oppression kind of hit you, that wave of dread.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
Right away, you would always know that that drive home would be the worst moments of why. Why did I do this again? Why can't I stop this?
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles, or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Are you ready? It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Nodal Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Nodal Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Nodal Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe currently on the road with baseball in sunny Chicago today, right? Kind of decent weather for you there.
Wish we played today. I mean, it's sunny and probably mid-50s here today. I love this town. I love coming here. I think Husker fans do when we play football here. We haven't played football here in a couple of years and not expected to. But I do like Evanston and this side of Chicago, and hope the weather holds for the weekend. Huskers, you know, Jess, have missed their last 2 games because of weather. They didn't play Sunday, and they didn't play Tuesday night in Manhattan. So they're ready to get back out and play.
Well, I want to talk all about the baseball matchup, but before we do, of course, it was open practice today. They had the pads on. There was a lot of hoopla, a lot of videos. As you mentioned last night, you're probably going to see a lot of it on social media, but a lot of interest today in Dylan Raiola.
And, I don't know how you avoid that. That's what everyone talk about. That's what the fans, everywhere I go and people ask me, they go, oh, is he the guy? And I'm like, well, he's got to prove it. And I think, in the press conference afterwards, Coach Rhule did a pretty good job of kind of tamping down that a little bit. But then, you got people out there like the big dog going on shows and saying how the NFL scouts raved about him when he threw the football at the pro day a few weeks ago. So we got to get the big dog reined in on that one. But, there's a lot of hype on Dylan, and let's see how he handles that going forward. But, it was cool to see that Nash has already jumped back out there after wrestling at the national meet just a couple days ago. And a lot of positives, at least from the coach, talking to the media after this practice, which is now 3 of 15 are now in the books.
Yeah, I loved his story about how he's dividing them up into 3 teams and that competition and just finding new ways, because we heard it was Marquise Buford a couple weeks ago when I talked to him. It talked about how sometimes this can be a little bit of a grind because it's not like you're preparing for games. You're not playing in games, but to try to keep that competition level high, just finding new ways. I mean, that's what the staff does.
They do. They do a really good job. And, I think we touched a little bit on it last night. Guys like Gifford and Ty Robinson, they don't really necessarily need this. So for them, it's kind of hard to get that flicker going of being competitive. But for young players, people trying to make the coaches notice them, get on the radar for the fall, this is a big time of year. And so I think for a lot of this football team, they got to try to go show these coaches that, hey, I want to be a part of things on the field when we kick this things off against UTEP in late August. But so you kind of have the 2 factions: the guys that are a little older that aren't doing a whole lot, and the coaches know they don't need them to do a whole lot, and then the young bucks and the newcomers, and there's a bunch of them. I think Coach Rhule said this is about as new a team as he's ever coached, but as far as a lot of new faces on a squad. So they're trying to get to know each other a little bit here in the spring as well.
So, again, practice was today. They'll practice again, I believe, Saturday, and then they'll kind of go along that schedule the rest of spring. So, headed to Northwestern. Boy, this baseball team, I know you mentioned they had their last 2 games canceled because of weather, but they've been on a tear, 7 in a row. They're got to be pretty confident as they start Big Ten play.
I think they are, and 7 straight all at home. And the reason the RPI is in such a good spot, I haven't checked it today, it was 11 yesterday, is because they've won 7 road games. They did that earlier. Now you've got the next 4 on the road, the 3 here, and then the Tuesday night game at Creighton. And this team does. They've got a little kind of cockiness about them, and I think that's a good thing to have. They walk on the diamond, and they expect that they're going to win. They've been getting really solid pitching, particularly from Brett Sears, whose numbers are just ridiculous with the starts that he's had, and he'll get the ball tomorrow in game 1 of this thing. So they're deep, and I think that's the word we've used a lot in the last 6 weeks, is there's a lot of depth to this team. There's depth in the pitching staff. So if somebody's not throwing well, they can go get them out and bring somebody else in. And we talked about this with Coach Bolt on Monday, there's guys he'd love to put into the lineup, but where do you put them? Where do you get ABs? Because everybody else is doing such a good job. And it's a good problem to have. This is a nice, solid baseball team. And I need this weather to turn around so people can start coming out to the ballpark next week when we're back home with Ohio State. But it's a confident team and a team that expects to win pretty much every time they step on the field.
You had mentioned Brett Sears, and yeah, you look at the preview that's on our website, and his statistics, a lot of them are among the best in the nation. He's 4-0, and then the team's 6-0 when he gets the start. What is he doing so well this year? What is working so well for him this season?
Throwing strikes, just filling up the strike zone. He's just, getting ahead of hitters, and he works so quick that, batters step in there, and then all of a sudden it's 0-2, and they're like, my gosh, my at-bat's almost over. Brett last year, I think they tried to kind of put him into a middle relief role, and that wasn't what he was. He was a starter at Western Illinois. So then in the summer, he went up to the Northwoods League, which is a really good college wooden bat league, and he was dominant. And he was starting. And I think Rob Childress goes, okay, I think we made the mistake a year ago by not starting this guy. And he has grabbed a hold of it and gotten after people, and I expect him to pitch really well tomorrow. So, and you're right, I think he's #1 in the country in the whip, which is a really good category to lead the country. So he's opening some eyes, but I think to your original question, just throwing strikes. And that seems simple, but he attacks people. He gets after it, and he works the edges, and he's able to place his fastball where he wants to. Just great command of that fastball, and that's been the key to his success.
Sounds like there is going to be a change potentially in the starting rotation this weekend, the Sunday starter.
Yeah, Mason McConaughey. I almost said Matthew. Start. I'm anxious for him. He's been so good every time they have put him out there, and they've not had a lot of success on Sundays with starters. They've tried Caleb Clark. They've tried Ty Horn. And so here it's Mason's time to go. He was supposed to start last week when the game got canceled against New Mexico State. So he gets a chance here on Sunday to go see what he can do. And he's been a starter at the junior college level. He obviously was a starter at high school. But he projects really well, Jess. He's a big, thick kid, broad shoulders. Scouts love that kind of a look. Mason has that. And so I'm anxious for him to get a chance to start. And I have a feeling he's going to rise to the occasion and do a pretty good job.
It's going to also provide a little sense of, extra confidence, an extra boost, knowing that there are so many guys in the bullpen to back up those starters, that it's not all on you. You don't have to always have your best stuff for 8 innings, that you got guys that can back you up in the bullpen.
Exactly right. And Rob Childress is not afraid to get starters and relief pitchers up in a hurry if he notices somebody doesn't have it on a certain day. And that's baseball. You're not going to have it every time you take the mound. You're going to have days where the stuff just isn't there, or you don't feel quite right, so maybe your velocity is down a tick or two. But to have that depth is really big. It was interesting. I was kind of pouring over the travel roster before we went on here. In the non-con, you can take as many guys as you want. Nebraska's been traveling about 38 players. The league, though, limits you to 32 for conference series. So they had to leave a couple guys home that have been traveling. So they may not have quite as much depth, but still 32 guys for a weekend series is an awful lot of bodies to be able to bring.
It's crazy. You look at the schedule and the scores of wins, and they might win it 2-1, they might win it 16-0. They're just finding different ways to win, different ball games. How much does that bode well for a team that it's not always just the 16 having to score a bunch or having to shut guys out? That they're finding other different ways to win.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge because, we had a couple of games in the homestand where the wind was blowing in, so it was great for the pitchers. It was not going to be – you weren't going to be able to slug your way to a win. You're going to have to find a way to win 2-1 or 3-0, and they won a couple of those type of games on days it was great for the pitchers, not so good for the hitters, but then have the ability to flip it where you may have to win a high-scoring game. And this offense, and I think you go back just to January, the questions for this team were – who would be the starting pitchers? Well, we kind of addressed that with the way Sears has grabbed a hold of Friday. And how do you replace the production of Bryce and Max from last year? Well, it's been a combined group, and that the depth in the lineup. Some nights it could be the 1-hole hitter, or maybe it's the 5-hole hitter, or the 9-hole hitter has come through. And so they've just, the depth and the different guys who can step up and get big hits and big moments has overcome the loss of two terrific players. And, those two guys were both top 50 picks in the draft last July, and terrific guys, and who have a chance, I think, to eventually maybe play in the big leagues. Those are big shoes to fill, but they found a way to do that.
So as the Huskers begin their conference play, can you maybe give us a breakdown of overall what the league looks like, who's the biggest competition for Nebraska? But they're going in as one of the favorites, right?
They are now, and it's interesting because, the coaches poll came out the week of the opening game, so that Valentine's week. And this is the coaches that put this together, and they had Iowa as the top pick. I would have too, but they've stumbled a little bit. Iowa's had problems getting good starting pitching, and they're not hitting very well. And maybe they find the secret sauce and get it turned around. I kind of hope not. But Indiana was picked second, and they've had all kinds of issues with their pitching staff. They just cannot get outs, and you can't just slug your way to wins every day. Third was Maryland, and they've been pretty good. And Rutgers was in that mix too, and they've been good. I would go Nebraska, Rutgers, Maryland as my top three. And the Huskers played both those two. They, in baseball, you get 8 conference series, this being the first one with Northwestern starting tomorrow. So you miss some teams. We're not missing probably the better groups of teams because we do have both Maryland and Rutgers on the schedule. So if Nebraska's going to win a conference title, they're going to earn it because they're playing the better group. They don't really get one of the one-offs. Maybe this week, Northwestern may not be a team that gets to the top 8. So maybe this is kind of one of the weaker teams that they'll play in the next 8 weekends.
Yeah, give us a preview of what this matchup looks like on paper. I was looking at some of the stats in the Big Ten. They don't really have many stats that jump really out at you a whole bunch. So how does that look like for the Huskers going into this weekend?
First-year head coach, Ben Greenspan, who was with Tracy Smith at Michigan and was one of their top recruiters there. Northwestern had a one-and-done coach last year, had all kinds of issues with players saying that they weren't treated very well with the previous staff, so that was really messy when Coach Greenspan walked in there. But they've done a nice job. They've won some road games. They're 10-12 on the year, which is, that record doesn't blow you away, but they've been able to win some road games. And so their RPI is in the low 60s. So I think he's done a really nice job. I know Coach Bull is a fan of Coach Greenspan. He knows he'll see a team that's pretty well put together. They'll play good defense. That's probably the best thing they do is they don't kick the ball around. They're going to make you earn it. And they also will make you throw strikes. They've drawn an awful lot of walks. But talent-wise, Nebraska's got the edge in this series. But in this sport, particularly in this sport, it's different than football or basketball. It's hard to gauge what you're going to get day in and day out.
Okay, up until this point, as they close out the non-conference, who would you say is the MVP of the non-conference?
Well, it's kind of changed maybe from week to week. Offensively, Rhett Stokes has been just a huge surprise. He got a chance to play when Joshua Overbeek broke that finger in that first weekend, and Rhett came in and just started pounding the ball, hitting close to 400 still today. And now he's kind of shifted over to second base with Overbeek back. Hard-pressed not to put him in that hole, but I might go Josh Caron at catcher. He's been really solid behind the plate. Scouts are taking notice. There was a big write-up in D1 baseball this week on Josh, and looks like he will get drafted fairly high in June. So I'll probably lean Josh just because of how big he is in the catching component, and he's had big hits and big moments for this team. So I'd probably lean Josh Caron, but there's a couple of other really good candidates. On the mound, it's got to be Brett Sears. What he has done through 7 starts has just been phenomenal.
We've talked a lot about the RPI, and the Huskers have been really high, really from the start of the season. But as they go into Big Ten play, I mean, what does that look like, I guess, from week in and week out, like, I guess, in starting this weekend? How do you maintain as high as you can the RPI?
Yeah, it's hard. That's really hard because the league's not that great. So it's going to drift backwards. What you got to try to do is win as much as you can on the road because you still get an extra, it's weighted on the road win. So when you're on the road, try to win that, trying to win every series. Do what you can. I think what Nebraska's been able to do, Jessica, through the first 7 weeks is they're now on the radar. All the national writers are talking about Nebraska. They're locked into what the Huskers are doing. So when they talk up your team up, that's good because the committee generally kind of follows their lead a little bit. So Nebraska's on the radar. Just keep playing good baseball, keep racking up wins, and then you can't do anything about the league because the league is what it is. Just go try to win series week in and week out.
All right, I'll get started at 3 o'clock, first pitch, and Greg and Ben McLaughlin will be on the air for the pregame show starting at 2:30. Before I let you get out of here, pretty interesting tweet that came out today. Iowa women's athletics, they basically said it's the epicenter of women's sports. It was the caption. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's just living in the moment. They are right now with women's basketball. There's no doubt that they've been really solid in that sport, but Cole can check me on this. I don't think they won a volleyball match in the conference. I think they went 0 for the league. So kind of hard if you're not very good in volleyball, and they're very, very average in softball. I think their women's gym had a pretty good year, but that's a living in the moment type thing. They are right now in women's hoops, but from an overall what their department does with women's sports, that's a huge stretch for them to say that.
It's kind of, I was just having that discussion, and I just, you think about what Nebraska's done and how competitive they are in all sports really across the board, and I think, yeah, it's absolutely capitalizing on the moment. All right, Greg, thanks. Have a fun night. Guys got big dinner plans?
Well, I got to go get some deep dish pizza. That's what Chicago's known for. So, twist my arm a little bit. I'll go have a big piece of deep dish pizza.
You have a spot you always go to?
There's one real close to the hotel. There's some really good ones. Giordano's, which has opened a location in Omaha. But Lou Malnati's is a Chicago-based deep dish place, and it's just around the corner from the hotel. So it's calling my name, and as long as Cole's okay with it, I think I might go that way.
Cole wants you to bring him some back in the to-go box.
Might get a little cold and kind of the cheese hardens up if you don't eat it right away.
Fun fact, I've never had deep dish pizza.
Well, we got to get you in Chicago. I don't think we've played the Cats football since you've been here. And I'm anxious tomorrow, too, because the baseball stadium sits right next to Ryan Field, their football stadium, which I think they've torn down because they're getting ready to build a brand new. So I'm anxious. I'll take some pictures. I may tweet out some pictures tomorrow of what their football stadium looks like.
All right, Greg, have fun. Thanks for the time.
You bet. Go, Cole. Nail that joke.
Yeah, we got Cole's Joke of the Week coming up here shortly. All right, that was Greg Sharpe joining us on our Sports Nightly Hotline. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
If you're an unconditional, wholehearted, and ever so loyal Husker fan, you deserve to pay like one everywhere you go. With the free FNBO Husker Visa debit card. Fuel your fandom all season and beyond with a debit card just for you. It's free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get your free Husker Visa debit card at any branch or at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nodal Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Nodal Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Nodal Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
I just remember leaving that day feeling absolutely exhausted. I was sick and tired of living that double life.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
The anxiety, the depression is real. You start thinking about the money, where that could have went to. It's never enough. I could win $10 million today, and I'd go back and try to win 20 tomorrow.
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate, America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Woodhouse Cadillac, where luxury meets performance. Discover the seamless blend of design, innovation, and power as you explore the 2024 Cadillac lineup. Lease a 2024 Cadillac XT4 Luxury for $519 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit. Must finance with Cadillac Financial. $2,500 down payment plus first payment and $299 document fee due at signing. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. See dealer for details.
Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. 402-413-2400 is that number to shoot us a text on our Sports Nightly hotline. Justin in Lincoln asked, what are the chances we will be able to make up the Kansas State game? Any dates looking possible? I was told this morning that they're still trying to figure that out, if there's something that would work for both teams. Now it's, with the schedule already being filled and just kind of managing all the other dates, trying to find a date that works for both teams, a little bit challenging, but I was told that they're still working on that, still seeing if that might be possible. Of course, Kansas State comes here, and they'll be here in Lincoln on Wednesday, May 1st. But those road games, and especially playing Kansas State on the road, certainly would be good for that RPI. So I know that they're hoping they can maybe find a way to get that rescheduled. Mark on the text line said, Lisa Bluter and the Iowa fans better ride that Clark wave for all it's worth these next few days. Next year, it's back down to earth for them. It's crazy because a lot of their players, even their pieces that go along with Caitlin Clark, are all done too. That are the big-time role players that score when she doesn't score, and so they're all out of here too. So they don't necessarily have a lot of young pieces like Nebraska does, but with all the hype that has been surrounding the program, you got to think maybe they've been able to recruit. But Cole, you and I were talking, they don't really look like a Final Four team.
I don't know if they are, and they don't have all that easy of a road. Sure, South Carolina, and I mean every women's team has their own road that's difficult, but who knows? Anything can happen in March.
And they actually play, so not even just like the next few days. Do they play tomorrow night? No, they play Saturday night. So, yeah, it really might be a couple of days. I don't even know. They might have a hard time getting out of the Sweet 16, but I think that's a tough matchup. Here's the thing that they have going for them is I do think that they want to keep her in the tournament for as long as possible. So I think they're getting a little bit of help from the officiating, but, I digress. But anyways, the Sweet 16 has started for the men, and it was not looking good for Arizona. That's my pick to win it, by the way. But Clemson is up 31-22 here with 4:45 left in the first. Cole, who do you have winning it all?
I got my Huskies. I've watched them. I didn't watch them early in the year. As it's gone down the stretch, though, I've watched them. They seem like the most complete team. Their coach is Hurley is really good. That's my team. I wanted to ask you real quick, Jessica, before we head to a break, who are you most surprised at on the men's side to be still dancing?
Let's see. Maybe I guess maybe San Diego State. I'm not surprised by Gonzaga. My brother has been a longtime Gonzaga fan, and I know people have been down and out on them. I actually had them going here. So nothing against San Diego State. They got there last year, but I just didn't know if they could get there again, and that maybe they just went on a special run last year. But I thought that I actually didn't have them getting out of whatever round a couple rounds ago. So maybe that for me. What about you? Do you have a surprise team?
Outside of NC State, which I'm now all for, NC State making a deep run, Duke is a little surprising to me. They didn't seem that strong. That kind of maybe goes to show, though, that the ACC, even if they seem down, they're still up. So, but it's a good field.
It's a good game, actually, a closer game there. UConn up 13-12, but still early there in the first in that other game. But 33-24, come on. That is my hope to get back into this bracket thing because I am at the bottom. So I need to keep my teams in. So hopefully Arizona can figure out a way to get back in this thing and make it a game. All right, we got to work in a break here. Final segment here of hour number 1 coming up.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating,
and Electrical.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Are you ready? It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final segment here of hour number one. We'll keep talking hoops here a little bit. Tape the final coach show or TV show with Coach Hoiberg today, and since Greg was traveling with baseball, but it was a busy day for Husker basketball. He had Frankie Fiddler in for an unofficial visit. It's on social media. Some photos were taken. Sam Hoiberg actually posted on his Instagram a picture of Frankie in the locker room wearing the Nebraska uniform. But so he was on his unofficial visit today. Of course, he had the 3 seasons at Omaha, had a great season last year, averaging over 20 points per game. He's already visited Creighton, told he's going to Wisconsin this weekend. He's close with Chucky Hepburn. So he's got a long list, and sounds like he's going to take quite a few visits, but the Huskers you'd think would be on there on his list of favorites anyways, but we will see how that unfolds. William Kyle III also is set to take a visit here to Nebraska, and his list of offers and the schools that have reached out to contact him, really impressive. But Wisconsin, Kansas, K-State, Iowa, it's long and lengthy. He'd be a big get too, as he's also out of Bellevue West, averaged nearly 14 points, 7 rebounds, 6'9", 230. So Huskers really busy, going to try to add some pieces from the transfer portal. That was what Coach Hoiberg said, is that there's no rest for the weary this time, because you get right to trying to figure out this is important time to recruit the transfer portal. So trying to get those pieces together to continue to be competitive and build off of what they did last season. He was at the NJCAA, so the JUCO National Championships last night. But yeah, they'll continue to try to get some pieces there in the transfer portal. As of this morning, there were over 900 players in the transfer portal, and that'll probably continue to go up. But there's a little bit of a dead period, and then it opens back up. But it's just crazy. It's there's no slowing down at this point, because if you want to get some of those guys, it goes right back to getting them on campus and recruiting. And yeah, it's going to be important for this team to get some pieces, as they have those transfer portal guys that went out, and then of course the seniors. So they'll look to add, at least you'd think, another big body and then another shooter at least. Women's basketball, I was talking to assistant coaches the other day, and they've got 4 going out and 2 on scholarship coming in, but I think they're also going to try to add 2 or 3 from the transfer portal. And I think the key for both the programs, and we've talked a lot about this with Coach Hoiberg, is finding those players that fit the culture, and which Rink Mast was a great fit for the culture, and Bryce Williams, and those players that have bought into what's already in place, and that it's obviously working. And so you got to get guys that buy into that, and ladies too, because that's the culture is so important for both of those. So it's not just about, hey, let's go get the best player in the portal. It's about players that fit and can help you guys, to help them take the next step. But it's a big part of it, and it's not going anywhere. And I just I could not believe, Cole, how about that? Over 900.
Do they all? I mean, that's wild to think, and to think that that's one sport. To think about how much it's taken over football. I mean, it's the reality of where we're at in college athletics, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that is going to do it for hour number 1. That just flew by, but got a big hour number 2 coming up for you. We're going to hear from the home run queen, Billie Andrews. Also, Damon Benning going to stop by. So still plenty to come here on Sports Nightly. Keep it here, as we've got hour number 2 coming up after this.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
That's the best way I could describe how it felt for me when I would walk out of either the casino or the Keno parlor, is that you just felt that wave of heat, that wave of oppression kind of hit you, that wave of dread.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
Right away, you would always know that that drive home would be the worst moments of why. Why did I do this again? Why can't I stop this?
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Visit Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during Ram Truck Month and save on the entire lineup of trucks. Shop the rugged and confident 2024 Ram 1500 and enjoy best-in-class towing and an array of tech features designed for whatever journey comes your way. Get up to $11,000 off MSRP on all in-stock 2024 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Laramies. Your trusted Ram dealer since 1991. This is Woodhouse. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 4/1/2024. See dealer for details.
Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Nebraska football team has started spring practices this week. One headline going into the season is the quarterback position. Head coach Matt Rhule spoke to the media today discussing his quarterbacks.
Dylan and Daniel have done a great job of preparing within this offense. I think they know what to do. They know where to go with the football. They're on time. They're savvy. They're smart. So I've been really, really pleased. I mean, you can see what a bright future they both have. And, Heinrich has done a great job of mastering, you go through last year, right? You're building for one guy, you kind of move into another. Now, year two, we know who we are. We know what we have. We know the guys. Bring Glenn back into the fold along with us. So I think we've been really able to kind of, at least in the passing game, identify, hey, here's what we want to do. And you can see Heinrich being very comfortable with those things.
The NCAA Men's March Madness continues tonight with 6th seed Clemson up 39-31 on 2nd seed Arizona at half. 5th seed San Diego State trailing the top-ranked UConn 29-21 with 7:45 left in the first half. Later tonight, 4th seed Alabama faces number 1 seed North Carolina, and 3 seed Illinois against 2 seed Iowa State. It's opening day in the MLB today. All 30 teams were scheduled to play today, including the Dodgers defeating the Cardinals 7-1, Twins beating the Royals 4-1, Orioles beating the Angels 11-3, and the Astros falling to the Yankees 5-4. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Lifted to right, and drifting over near the line is Williams, and looking up, and it is gone! Wind blows it right out of here. It's a grand slam for Will Walsh. It's 5-0 Big Red.
With Ravel as Andrews swings and lifts it right field and deep. Riono going back to the wall. It's gone! Home run, Billie Andrews! And that's the new record. She is the all-time home run queen at the University of Nebraska.
Now the 2-2 from Sears. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 7 will end the 8th inning for Brett Sears, and he has gone 8 innings here on a Saturday afternoon.
The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly on this Thursday evening, our final show of the week, as we will have baseball for you coming up tomorrow as they open up Big Ten play at Northwestern. Husker softball opened up Big Ten play last weekend with 2 wins over Illinois. The Sunday game got canceled due to weather, but they did open up with 2 wins in Big Ten play. So their first road trip and conference play coming up this weekend at Wisconsin for a 3-game series. In the Friday win over Illinois, Billie Andrews entered that game with 54 home runs, so tied her at the top of the program record for career home runs. And in the bottom of the first, she leads off with her program record 55th home run of her career, passing Taylor Edwards. So she is the new home run queen of Nebraska softball. Got a chance to chat with her today before they left to go to Wisconsin to talk to her about all of that. Well, we had been talking about it. We knew coming in you were probably going to get it. But how did it feel when you hit that home run that takes over the program record? I mean, you are the leader in the program record books.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Just like when I hit it, it felt like pretty good. And then when I saw it go over the fence, I was like, wow, that was the one. Like, that's super cool. And I looked up and like my family, my friends, all of our team's parents just in the stands, they made a banner, just like looking up and seeing them, and then my teammates all coming out of the dugout. Like, it was just really cool. It was cool. It was special.
What was it like managing, knowing that you could attain that, but the pressure that comes along with it, I got to imagine. How did you manage all of that?
Yeah, well, I didn't know that I was like actually close until I was like at like 52 or 53. So I was like, once like me and Coach Rhule talked about it, I was like, oh, like 2 or 3 more, like I can do that. Like I don't need to put the pressure on. So like felt a little bit of pressure, but I knew like 2 or 3 more, like it was attainable.
So being that you're a Nebraska kid, you grew up, you love this program, to have that, to have your name at the top, can you even just put into words what that means to you and how special that is for you?
Yeah, I mean, it is really special just being a part of any type of leaderboard here, knowing that I grew up here and like my dream was to come to this school and like do big things, and like having my name on any type of leaderboard, like I did do big things, like I did accomplish goals that I wanted to. So it's cool because just being here was a dream, but like being a part of any record book, any like accomplishment that happens here is just it's more special.
So when you committed to play for Nebraska in high school, if somebody would have told you you were going to be the home run record holder, what would you have said?
I don't know. I think I would have been like, what are you talking? Like, no, like Taylor Edwards. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'd just be like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. So.
How do you feel like you've progressed as a hitter? I was talking to Maddie Burkhart the other day, and she was just bragging about sometimes even your best hitting comes against the best pitchers, and it's just you don't have a weakness in terms of like what pitches to throw at you. So how do you feel like your overall approach at the plate has evolved since you first stepped on campus to where it is now?
Yeah, I think I've grown a lot in the aspect of like knowing what the pitcher has and not being afraid of it, and just like attacking like my abilities and then what she's throwing, and just being aggressive in the box. One thing that I have done more since freshman year is watch film and like know a pitcher's tendencies, or just like know like what their ball is doing or how other teams are hitting them. So just taking in information that I can and using that for my at-bats. Yeah, and I just think the biggest thing is just being aggressive. Like it doesn't matter who the pitcher is, a pitcher's a pitcher. So like higher level, lower level, like they're all, just attack them all the same way with an aggressive mindset. So.
Throughout your career too, I mean, it's you have to be the person that delivers at the plate. How do you manage that, knowing that, hey, my team needs me to deliver when I'm at the plate, and I really don't have a choice. I've got to get up here and do my job.
Yeah, I just think in pressured situations, it's like I want to be the one in that situation. I want to be the one to have the big hit, score some runs. So just wanting to be in the situation is just, yeah, like just prepares me for those types of situations in the high pressure moments. But also just like treating it as its own at bat, like not making it too big, not making it bigger than it is. So just taking each at bat the same and just approaching it that way.
You guys have some really impressive hitters throughout your lineup too. What can you say about just the depth that seems like every other big game that you guys have somebody big that's either hitting a walk-off or delivering in the big moments?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because we do have a lot of people that can step up and have the big hits, and it's just fun to watch. It's fun to be a part of when anyone at any age is the one stepping up and getting like a walk-off, like Sammy. I'm so happy for Sammy. It's just like anyone can come in and have a big hit. So like it's fun to be a part of because it doesn't matter where we're at in the game. We have enough people in the lineup that can get the job done. So
I chatted with you before the season, but wanted to follow back up. And what's been your approach, knowing that this is it for you? This is your last year. Has it felt different? Are you approaching it differently? I guess how has it felt throughout the progress so far throughout the season?
I think as time comes into the season, it feels like it's starting to wind down. But yeah, just taking each game, each practice, each at bat, like everything. Just not taking it for granted and just enjoying it, enjoying the process. Just knowing that it is my last season. So just enjoying it and having fun, being with my teammates, playing the game I love, and just not taking any of it for granted and just being grateful that I'm here doing it.
What was your reaction when you walk out and you start seeing that construction to expand the stadium to allow for more people to come watch you guys play softball?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. We'd heard about it, but like when they actually started building, it's like, wow, like they really tore out the grass behind the dugouts. But it's cool, like having more seats. It's really cool having people right behind our dugout, like at all times, and the bleachers up top. Like we have a lot of space for a lot of fans to come, and we've had games where a lot of fans have come, so it's fun playing in that type of environment. Yeah, it's fun, and I love when the fans come and they come and support. So.
And it will continue to fill out as the weather gets better too.
Yes, when it gets nicer.
How exciting does that make you as someone that loves this program? That hey, look at the growth of it. That you guys couldn't even fit what was needed, and just the continued growth that people want to come watch you guys and support you guys.
Yeah, like the growth from my freshman year till now, like it's crazy, and we are going to continue to grow. We have a bunch of like the summer camps that we do. We've had more and more girls show up in each year that we've done them. So it's cool to see the growth that we've made, but the potential that we still have to grow, and just all like the future of Nebraska softball is so bright, and it's exciting to be a part of, and I'm excited to see how much it continues to grow.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, you're not just power hitter, starting shortstop, have been your entire career. What would be your advice to maybe a young player that's getting started in balancing being good defensively, and not just good, but great defensively and great offensively?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to just separate the two parts of the game. Like defense is completely different than offense, and just if you're having a bad day offensively, you can't let it carry into defense. Same vice versa, but just separating the two and just being a good teammate on both sides. Yeah, I think defense is really, you're more connected with other people when you're out there. So just being open and talking with your teammates, and then just hitting, just do your thing and attack the pitcher and be aggressive. I think that's the biggest thing that you can do for offense.
I talked to Sydney Gray about this earlier this season, but last year when Kate Canada came on, and she was just saying how much she looks up to you and Sid, and how much you guys put your arms around her and helped her along. In that regard, in being a leader and someone that has to now welcome in some of these young players, how have you felt like you've grown in that regard, and do you kind of love that responsibility now that you are the older person in the room trying to bring these younger players along?
Yeah, well, like when I was a freshman, I had like Tristan Edwards and Cami Barra. They brought me up, and they influenced me so much. I looked up to them, and so just being that person for someone else it puts a whole new perspective on it. Like kind of not really like taking responsibility, but bringing them up with you. It's special. Like it's cool. I've seen Kate grow so much since her first day here. So yeah, it's an honor. Just knowing how much Tristan and Cam did for me when I came up, I just want to be able to do that for Kate. Or like this year, I'm like Sammy, I'm kind of bringing her up too. So just being someone for the younger girls to look up to it's cool, it's special. And I know that once I graduate, they're going to be doing that for their underclassmen. So just continuing with the leadership. Yeah,
that's awesome. You guys have won several come from behind games this season. What is about this team? You guys are like the comeback kids. You leave everybody on edge, but you find a way to win. I mean, what's that mindset like, knowing that you're not out of any game?
Yeah, it's just like you said, like the game is not over until it's over. Softball, anything can happen within one pitch. So like until it's the last out of the 7th inning and the game is over, like we have no quit. There's not really an option to just quit, because literally anything can happen in the swing of a bat. So just having that belief that we can come back, and like proving that we have come back in those situations, like we have what it takes to win games, and just believing in ourselves as we go into Big Tens this month, and just moving forward with that. Like we have what it takes to win big games and close games. So just believing in ourselves in that aspect.
You guys have overcome some adversity this season, some losses, some injuries, but you guys seem so close. Can you speak to the culture of this program and how you guys seems to bring you closer every time, and that ultimately is what's so important to any team, but for you guys in particular?
Yeah, I think we've started building our culture last summer when our transfers came in, and then when the freshmen came in, and that has been such a focal point for our team, because if we're not close off the field, you can't be close on the field, because we are such a team sport. But we just, growing our culture and being close with one another, it doesn't matter who's on the field and who's not, because we can trust each one of our teammates. All 24 of us, we have trust in one another, and it doesn't matter who's on the field and who's on the bench. It's one for each other. So just having that trust and that culture, like you said, and just being able to go out there and just play for one another. And if one person goes down, we're not playing for them. So it's just putting different perspective on it and just playing for each other.
What's it been like playing for Coach Rhule after, you watch her run this program, and then she recruits you, and then now you've played for her for 4 years? Just what has it been like being coached by her for your entire career?
It's been cool. Like, she's a good coach. She's fun to be around. She knows a lot about me. I know a lot about her. So we've grown to communicate together, and just we know how to talk to each other on the field, off the field. So it's just, I've grown up with her. I've known her since I was a kid. So being able to play for her now, it's kind of like a full circle. Like, I watched her when I was little, and now I'm playing for her for 4 years. So it's cool. She's a really good coach, and it was special playing for her these last 4 years.
It's awesome. I wanted to talk to you about off the field, Billie, and you're incredibly talented, not just on the field, off the field. And for those that don't know, the graphics that came out through the preseason where you're counting down the days, you designed all of those, you're in graphic design, you're an incredible artist. Where does that love and passion come from? Has that been something you've always been good at? Did it develop, I guess? How did that start for you?
I don't know. I feel like when I was growing up, I'd always like to do just little crafts here and there, but I think my love for pursuing art and doing it as a hobby kind of just came in high school. More through COVID, I painted a lot because there wasn't much to do, so I started painting then. And then when I got to college, I started studying graphic design, and I fell in love with it. And yeah, it's something that I can do to express my feelings, tell a story just through art. And yeah, I love it, and I want to do that. So yeah, doing the preseason, the graphics was super cool, just being a part of it, because that's something that I can remember forever. Like my senior year, I drew these of each one of my teammates. So yeah, it's cool. I thought it was really special doing that.
For those of us that are not creative at all, has the art, the fact that you're good at art and drawing and painting, did that translate to graphic design?
I think so, yeah. More of the idea, coming up with an idea, I think that's what more translated. Yeah, just being the creative part of it and putting together something that looks good. So yeah, I think so.
You've designed shirts. I know, been involved with other things within this program. How much fun has that been that they want you to be involved and design things and be a part of all the different little things that go into a college softball program? Yeah,
I mean, it's cool because I think a couple years ago I made a shirt for our senior day, and that's something that I have, I still wear, and it's I made that, and I know a lot of, the whole team has it, and yeah, it's just cool that there's something tangible that I've done to help promote this program, or do something just for Husker softball that I can see when I open up my phone, when I open up my computer. So
congratulations to Billie Andrews, as she's now the program record holder for career home runs. You can listen to that full conversation. It's now out on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel. So we got into, she's also an incredible artist and graphic design artist. So we talked a lot about that and how she got into that. So lots more you can hear from Billie out on that podcast right now. Husker softball heads to Wisconsin for a 3-game series. Friday, 3 o'clock first pitch, and then Saturday and Sunday, both of those at 1 o'clock. Nate Rohr will be on the call for you with all of the action starting 15 minutes prior to first pitch for the pregame show. All right, got to work in a break here in hour number 1. Coming up next, we're going to hear from Damon Benning, going to talk some spring football. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Knottle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Knottle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Knottle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Purchasing your next car, truck, or SUV from Woodhouse Ford is easier than ever thanks to our streamlined buying process. Shop our current inventory and offers going on now and experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford today. Save up to $11,000 off MSRP on the 2023 Ford F-150 XLT plus 1.9% APR for 72 months. With approved credit, vehicle is a retired courtesy. Stock number T232516. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 3/31/2024. See dealer for details.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody, and we had some requests to get this guy back on the air, so we made it happen. Damon Benning is joining us on the phone. Hey, Damon, thanks for joining us, and we had to make it happen. We had to give the people what they wanted.
I appreciate that. I felt the same way last week when we had you on Friday. You know, I was like, basically when I wanted you to come on, I was like, hey, whether it's wrestling, whether it's basketball, whatever, I think people just want to hear from you. So I was like, all right, I don't care if you're in Memphis. I don't care if you're in Kansas City. The world wanted JC. So I appreciate the reciprocated love, even if it didn't come from you.
Oh, always enjoy talking to you, and always, we can give each other a hard time. So, but a lot of news has happened since we last had you on. Let's start with the 80, Troy Dannon. What are your takes on him? And, they moved quickly and to get him on, but to get him here and in place, but seems like he's going to be the right guy for Nebraska.
Yeah, at least on the surface early, right? I mean, he says a lot of the right things. I think he sounds like an extension of the vision that the former athletic department is trying to capture, maybe outside of like NIL, and we'll see what happens with the stadium project, but being pro-student athlete, being for ever evolving, being for wanting to position yourself in the Big Ten Conference as a player moving forward, wanting to be malleable with your ideology and the way that you think to position yourself in a good place. Those last 4 or 5 things, I think, are all in alignment with the direction that Nebraska was trying to move.
Okay, well, spring football practice is underway. I know you've spent some time up here around the program, but when you go into year 2 for this coaching staff here in spring ball, and there's always new tweaks, new personnel, but especially for the defense with so many guys returning and Tony White having his kind of system in place, what are the goals become for this staff here in spring number 2?
So I think that's a great question, because it depends on which side of the ball you're on, but I think the goal is the same, and let me explain. If you're on defense, it's, hey, listen, we want to continue to grow and expound upon what we did a year ago. I know we set a baseline for X amount of success. We want to continue to build upon that as we build depth. And then you might say, and I know you'll say, well, duh, Damon, that's what we want to do for the offense too. But the offense has a few more question marks, right? It's how are we going to stabilize the running back position? What happens at the quarterback spot? Who emerges as the number one in a hodgepodge of a variance of wide receivers? Oh, wait a minute. We're good up front. Is that something we can build around? So while the goals may be the same for both units or both sides of the ball, how they're going to get there is way different. You need to be a lot more patient with the offense, and with the defense you want to see, can we make 1 year 2? But the goal is absolutely the same.
What kind of step do you see this defense taking? And, obviously it's still going to be a work in progress leading up to kickoff, but to me, I'm talking to players, and it's like, okay, we saw what we could do, but that was only scratching the surface. So it just seems like the expectations have even taken it up a notch.
Gosh, it's exciting, because I feel like last year at this time, and you and I had these conversations a ton, it's like, okay, what are we going to get from the defensive line, right? Like, there seems to be a lot of questions about the defensive line. We're going to need some young guys that have to step up, but boy, do we love the potential of the secondary. I feel like this year it's just the opposite. Yeah, you have a couple of guys like Gifford and Tommy Hill, and depending on how you feel about Buford and his health, coming back in the secondary, but don't you feel a lot more comfortable with what's going on along the D-line, whether it's Prince-Well, whether it's, I mean, they got a host of guys at the linebacking spot. You love what's going on with Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmaker. You felt like he played a ton of guys along the defensive front. It seems like this year the defensive front is more the constant in terms of what we have confidence in, and the secondary is like, oh, they have so many guys. There's a ton of potential. I see some mainstays. So the question goes back to what's happening at the second level. At the second level, the linebacking core can fill in and replace some guys like Reimer. I mean, they had some guys, man, that were veterans and pretty savvy. They're going to get a little younger this year, but at the second level can build on what I think the stability of the front four is, or front 3.5, or whatever front you think Nebraska's running. Gosh, I think the way that they get better than they did a year ago is get a few more takeaways, get teams to give you the ball more, and to get off the field on third down later in the season. Nebraska's inability to turn teams over and get off the field in critical moments, I think, are two bugaboos that this defense is not really happy about. So those are the kind of the key areas if you're looking at just like specifics of getting to be a part of a good defense. Those are two things that I would start with statistically.
So Greg and I did this last night on the show. Greg's brilliant idea to name 5 guys that were intrigued to watch, excited to watch here in spring football. I'm kind of springing this on you because he gave me all day to think about it. But who are 5 names that maybe jump out to you right now that you're excited to see here this spring?
Is this in general or
the
on both sides
whole
of the ball?
team, both sides of the ball?
Oh, okay. I think I can handle that. Let's start on special teams. I want to see the evolution and what's happening with Tristan Albano. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's more confident. I think he's excited to attack college football. Didn't really know some of the ins and outs. Hey, what am I going to get from social media? This is the first time that people have ever said bad things about me. I know that I'm really talented. I've had some highs and lows. So Tristan Albano is one guy that I think I'm really, really interested in. Another guy, I'll take Banks at the wide receiver spot. And not for the reasons, not for the low-hanging fruit reasons of, well, he was the first one to speak at the podium or anything like that. He's the one guy in that wide receiving corps that's a little bit different than anybody else. He's a bigger body. He's made a living kind of making those handsy catches. And last year I thought it was interesting because the excuse, or kind of what we told ourselves, was, well, the young guys can't get separation. They can't get separation. We need a quarterback that can just like throw them open and put it on them. Well, if Banks is that intriguing and he's kind of emerged as this leader, then he's uniquely connected to the development of the quarterbacks. He may not be a guy that has had a history of just running wide open or getting free, but can he be consistent? And can he put the leadership skills and his experience to a practical application of being a guy that I think Nebraska can count on, especially if you're going to play young quarterbacks. Number 3, I think you have to take a look at maybe an open cornerback or a secondary spot with Buford. How has he recovered? Is he fully healthy? We turned him loose a little bit early last year. We kind of had to keep our fingers crossed that I know he was a shot in the arm for us emotionally, but where is he physically, right? Like, that's a big deal. The 4th would be Makusa, right, on the offensive line. It's assumed that he's going to come in and be the stabilizer on the offensive line at one of the guard spots. He started in 2 Power 5 conferences. You think you can pencil him in, but it was interesting that kind of Coach Rhule, he was one of the guys that kind of got called out early, like hoping they get more, hoping he understands more, that it's more than about football. And he's in a precarious spot, you guys, because he's older, he's a senior, he's about out of time. And so when you get a guy on a 1-year trial, you have to hope that he embodies everything you want culturally And because he's so good physically, you don't sacrifice the culture. That's why I think Coach Rhule got on him early. If you're going to be an older guy and you're going to be a one-year rental, we need all the pieces to come in place because we're not going to compromise the culture that we're building just because we feel like you're a pretty good player. And then the fifth, I'm going to go with Dowdell, but again, for a different reason than I think kind of the fan base does. He's been pegged as the guy that, highly recruited, had the great senior year in terms of being recruited. I know he didn't play at Oregon, but his body type, his build, we went out and got him from another brand name school. I'm curious to see how he fits because, Ramir Johnson's not going to ask to be the going to get Gaber. So I think Dowdell is an easy target for one to see do well, but I think it's primarily because if E.J. Barthel and the staff is going to continue to grow and mature as position coaches, then targeting guys in the portal and developing them is a key. So if Dowdell turns out to be a guy that you targeted, you went and got early, and you can develop him, that's good for the future. It's not so much about what he can do this year, but you're able to build and continue the building is, hey, if we're going to get in the portal and you're going to be a guy that we covet, we can develop you too. We want to be a school that's prided ourselves on development, and even if we get you out of the portal, we want you to be a guy that we can continue to develop so we can add that to our resume and our portfolio to make us more attractive for incoming talent. So I think he's a key there, but for a little bit different reason. Because the guy that I actually have my eye on is Ives, because I think he's better than the unknown that he's kind of surrounded with being a youngster.
So Ives was almost on my list. He's probably number 6 for me because I agree too. I think they got to have depth at running back. We saw it last year.
He's talented too, right?
Yeah.
I think he's physically he's a really good player.
Yeah, and I don't think it was so much like what he can do at the football. It was more so the things that come along with being a running back on this level and this stage and the other things that you got to pick up. But I think certainly the talent is there. How crazy is it? So we each did our list, right? And the only one that was the same was Dowdell that Greg had on his list. So it just, I guess,
really?
speaks,
where did Sharpe go with?
Well, I can't remember now off the top of my head, but we both had 2 of the freshman offensive linemen or redshirt freshmen coming off their redshirt year, Gatula and Sledge. He had Dowdell. I can't off the top of my head, but I think that's what we were saying last night is we probably could have done 10 apiece, but I just, as many as there are names that we recognize
coming. Did you take any quarterbacks?
I actually did have Rhule just because I wanted to see it live in action on a college football field. But I think that speaks to the depth and talent of a football team, right, that we can sit here and go through these lists and none of us, it's really a lot different perspectives.
Hey, and this is going to sound crazy because I'm going to have you talk me off the ledge when I think I should be the older, more mature one, right? But I know I'm not Sharpe, who's ultra mature. But is it weird that if in year 1 of a 5-star quarterback, all I want is to just kind of manage the situation? I don't really need him to be great. Just continue to progress. Am I minimizing what I think 5 stars are supposed to come in to do? Or do you think it's okay? Like, listen, if you go 2,900 yards and you're 22-9 touchdown to interception ratio and we can run the ball with this offensive line, you don't have to be spectacular. There could be a really cool story to tell if hypothetically it gets off to, like I said, maybe some of those stats, right? 28 and 22 and 9 and Nebraska can win 7-8 games and then you build on it. There's something about me that as a high caliber recruit where I would say, gosh, you know what? Like, this is a whole person experience. It's not just about this individual thing and me having to accomplish all my high school accolades. It's I'm now learning to be a part of something bigger than me. I can use that going forward. and you can get me better over the next 2 or 3 years before I have my pro aspirations, that may be actually the perfect kind of poster child for what Nebraska wants to do on a recruiting standpoint, now that you got me thinking.
All right, DB, great stuff. Appreciate your time. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, anytime. I feel like, I don't know if I necessarily work for you, but sometimes I feel like I do, but I know I work for you guys. So whatever you need, I'm good to go.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Damon is joining us on Sports Nightly Hotline, which is brought to you by Woodhouse. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with more of the show coming up after this.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Nodal Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Nodal Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Nodal Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Just got a couple of segments left here on this Thursday night show, our final show of the week. Update in the Sweet 16. Arizona had taken their first lead, but they're trailing still 56-52 to Clemson with just about 10 minutes left in that one. And then at the other one, the halftime with the other one, and UConn leading San Diego State 40-31. Also, we had a group that we put together for checking brackets or tracking brackets, a bracket challenge. And Nebraskano is in the lead currently. And our former producer, Tim Mulhaupt, is up there right there on his heels in second. Crypto was bragging after those first 2 days, and he has fallen down pretty good in the leaderboard. Cole's name is not the producer. He's not doing well, but so he's 31st, but I'm doing worse. Greg and I both are tied at 34. So I need some things to happen here, and one of those things that would help me out is if Arizona pulled this one out, because I have them going far. All right, we have to get into our last break. We went a little long with DB, but got to save plenty of time for Cole's Joke of the Week. That's coming up next here in our final segment of Sports Nightly.
If you're an unconditional, wholehearted, and ever so loyal Husker fan, you deserve to pay like one everywhere you go. With the free FNBO Husker Visa debit card. Fuel your fandom all season and beyond with a debit card just for you. It's free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get your free Husker Visa debit card at any branch or at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
There's room at the table. Add more dollars to every acre. Incorporate value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. White corn, non-GMO, organics. Find the right fit for your operation. For a limited time, enter to win a $5,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 20,000 bushels of value-added grain. Enter at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Well, it's everybody's favorite segment of the entire week. It's time for Cole's Joke of the Week. But before we get into that, Dennis already on the text line. I will give it an early 7.5 no matter what with the fire emoji. You've been on a heater, Cole, and people have got a lot of faith in you.
That's still bold because I've missed before and I'll miss again eventually.
But you've, put 3 good weeks together?
I think so. It's maybe my best streak so far.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
The joke of tonight implies that I have a wife. I'm not married. But I told my wife that she was drawing her eyebrows on too high, and she looked surprised.
Wow. That was quick. Well, okay,
Yeah,
guys, what do you think? Let us know. We're waiting in for those responses. The surprise joke. Let's see here. Usually on the chat, they're pretty quick to respond. But they're kind of taking a little bit longer today. But at least you already got a 7.5 from Dennis if we run out of time.
That's right. We can just go with that. And
yeah, just leave it there. Leave it at the 7.5.
Not worry about the rest of them.
Greg had some high hopes for you here today. So
I hope he's listening. I hope he's also enjoying the deep dish.
Yes, and bringing you some back. Have you had deep dish pizza?
Not authentic. I go to like Old Chicago in Lincoln. They have a deep dish. I don't think it's the same as if you go to some of those old restaurants.
We get like authentic. All right, here they're rolling in. Crypto Cole, you're my man. Your joke was good. I give it a 9.5. Husker in Hanover a 7. Dryce gives you an 8. Art says great joke, Cole. Keep it up. Jimmy Kimmel will be contacting you. GBR.
What's with the Jimmy Kimmel? I wonder if Art, because I think Jimmy Kimmel does his shows in L.A. I'm guessing maybe he's a big fan.
7.75 from Tim in Minnesota. Ethan gives you an 8. Justin an 8.6. Shane gives you an 8.11. He's always got the random numbers at the end of his. So, hey, you were racking them up. That's a good night.
That's a good night.
Make it 4 weeks in a row. Jim in Columbus missed it.
I can rest easy.
So he normally is a regular voter as well. But
sure.
Nice job. 4 weeks in a row? Got to keep it rolling. Do we have a show next week on Thursday? I think we do.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
So you'll try to make it 5 in a row. And
we'll try, but I don't appreciate the preemptive scores. That puts a lot of added pressure. A lot of pressure on me.
Hey, had to bring it. All right. Thank you. And thanks for helping me out tonight, driving the show. And Duke as well. All right, we have baseball coming up on the air tomorrow. So this is our final Sports Nightly show of the week. And then softball also on the road. So both those games, first pitches at 3 o'clock. Nate Rohr will be on the air starting at 2:45. Ben and Greg starting at 2:30 with their pregame at Northwestern as baseball opens up Big Ten play, and Huskers softball on the road for the first time in conference play. All right, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for listening. Again, thanks to Duke and Cole for helping me out here tonight. Have a great weekend, Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy, from repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Experience luxury car buying like never before at Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Browse our full range of SUVs or our lineup of exceptional sedans, offering unparalleled elegance and sophistication. Plus, right now, lease the 2024 Genesis GV70 2.5 Turbo All-Wheel Drive Select for $669 per month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year. With approved credit, tax, title, and license extra. First payment, $4,999 down plus $299 doc fee due at signing. Security deposit waived. Offer expires April 1st, 2024. See dealer for details.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rhule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personal